Alright guys, we're doing the third hired request of the 2017 summer list, and it is another classical piece for ShawnCheek.com, my sight reading site where we just use music notation instead of the letters on the whiteboard. And that works better for this kind of stuff anyway, this complicated classical music. But Liszt Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2, C sharp minor. Everyone has heard this. It's one of the most popular classical pieces. So even if you're not into classical music, you've probably heard it. But what is this? What are these videos for? There's going to be probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 of them. Maybe, I don't know how many it'll take to do this. Probably not that much, but is I help you to read the music. A lot of us as children and young adults had problems. The barrier was reading the music, not playing it. We just couldn't read the music, so we got frustrated and quit. Because reading music is hard. But that's what I'm here for in these videos. I'm going to help you to understand what chord we're on, what notes we're playing, and rhythms and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to be, this isn't going to be performance-based where I'm going to perform this virtuosic piece. You can listen to someone on YouTube if you want to do that. But I'm teaching you how to play it, what the notes are, and how to get through it at a slow tempo correctly. And if you can do that, if you can get through it with the correct notes at a slow tempo, even if you're crawling, you have hope to play it faster and faster every day, every week, every year. So let's get started. Here we'll do 2 lines at a time. I'm putting the part 1, the full part 1 here on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else. And we'll get going here. Bugs Bunny, right? The old Looney Tunes. Now we're here. I'm not trying to be expressive, just playing through it. Do you hear the notes? Okay, so we're going to learn the notes and the rhythms, and then you can put the expression, feeling, and speed later yourself. But if I had had lessons like these when I was a young kid, would have really used them. I was a terrible reader. Could not read music at all for anything, but I could play anything. It just took me forever to learn it because I couldn't read well at all. Because my ear was very good. So I relied on that instead of reading notes. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. Let's get to it. Let's notice we're in 2/4. 2 counts per measure. And even though this is played very rubato, which means a free feeling tempo, free speed up, slow down, just, not metronomic at all. Even though it's like that, you want to learn it with you want to always feel the beats 1 and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 2 and so forth. You want to do that so that you have that underlying current, that feeling of counts 1 and 2, and then you can put feeling in it later, but you need to have that knowing where the counts are, okay? So don't just start off immediately playing with dripping with feeling and emotion and not have no regard for counts and rhythm, okay? Because those are important, and you need to know where everything goes, and then you can kind of stray a little bit, pulling or pushing forward with the tempo. 4 sharps. So the sharps are F, C, G, and D. Okay? So automatically the letters F, C, G, and D will be sharped. Anytime you come across those letters, automatically sharped. Okay? That's the key signature for C sharp minor. So we immediately start off with two C sharps. That's hard to say. C sharp. Okay, so the first one's I call it a grace note, and then we have the C sharp after that. You can use the same finger or 2 different fingers. Doesn't matter. Now, bum bum. So count 1 is 1. Now the big C sharp is the one that is count 1. So this is just kind of right before it. 1, 2. Count 2 is going to be low C sharp on the left with a G sharp. That's a 5th. The right hand's going to have E sharp, which is like playing an F, right? E sharp and G sharp. Now that's with the right hand. Even though it's down here in the bass clef, it's still right hand. And if what I'm showing you is still above your head, and because I'm assuming you have tried to read music before and you've had at least some rudimentary piano lessons and reading music. On my website, ShawnCheek.com, I have boot camp series which starts you from the very, 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 very beginning of sight reading. And if you need that, I mean, everyone does. You need a foundation. Start with those on my website, ShawnCheek.com, the boot camp series, and then you can graduate eventually to something of this magnitude. But 2, I have to assume you can read, you know something about reading music here, or we'll be doing this for 5 years. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, so that's the first part. 1, 2. So you want to keep hold of that C sharp. 1, 2. Now, next measure. 1, 2. So these actually come before the beat, before count 1. La la la, 1, 2. La la la, 1. So C sharp, B, the fingerings that are written there are fine. And then 2, count 2 is here, D natural and F sharp. Left hand has G sharp and G sharp here. 2. Some people say, well, how do you know that's supposed to be right hand? Because there's no way to play it with left hand. Well, there's no other way to do it than you do what you can do. So, because the left hand's playing a G sharp octave, 2, okay? La la la, 1, 2, na 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 na. Then after that we have C sharp, E, D natural, C sharp. So let's tie those two measures together with thinking about rhythms and counting and tempo. Not worried about expression or, you know, putting feeling at this point. We need to get the nuts and bolts. At least that's how I do it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so da 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 da, C sharp, and then bum bum. This is just like that was. So 2, and then ba na na. That's exactly like this was, and then a 2, which is this. Now at the very end, la 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 la. Some ledger lines there. People get stuck on ledger lines. A is that first one because the B is tied. See, the B is tied. This B was tied. A, G sharp, B, A, G sharp, da 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 da. So the whole measure. 1, 2. It may seem like I'm going fast and it's rushing through it. I'm just keeping the beat, and you can stretch out the tempo later. G sharp, bum bum. Now this is just like that was. It's a C sharp major chord. C sharp major, C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, 1, a 2, 1, 2 G sharps there. Still in bass clef on the right hand on this part. You see it changed up here, bass clef. So that's why this is. So da na 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 na. This note is the same note as this one. It's just you were in treble clef, now you're bass clef. Now, a 2, a 1, so that's G sharp again, a 2. Now what happens is we change from C sharp major chord to a C sharp minor chord. So this is going to be E natural and G sharp with the left hand G sharp and E natural. 1, 2, na 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 na. This G sharp is tied over, so A, G sharp, E, A, G sharp. Same thing this was, only notated differently. Treble clef, notated as bass clef. Why do that? Just kind of makes it easier to read sometimes. I wish they would do it more often sometimes instead of having a zillion ledger lines. G sharp, bum bum. So 1, 2, count 2 is here. C sharp and D sharp together, left hand on a G sharp. Suspended chord. You want to keep that G sharp going. 1, 2, 1, and then count 1 on the next measure. As you're continuing to hold the G sharp, B sharp, because it's bass clef, D sharp and F sharp. This G sharp is tied over, and we'll talk about this measure in a minute. But let's go from the beginning and doing our counts. Really, there's something on count 1 and count 2, count 1 and count 2, with little flourishy things in between, is what this amounts to. Here we go. 1, 2, count out loud. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, parts too, you see a staccato, then you go, why aren't you playing staccato? Like that. Sometimes a staccato is a mental thing, even though we're going to pedal through it. So we physically let up on the keys, even though the pedal is still down. That's what we're doing there. I'm not going to take a lot of time with that, but you're pedaling through, even though physically the hands are doing that. It's just something mental, musically, will go on with us in the performance, because the performance is not only what we hear, but what we see as well. And so, you know, we can really get into some stuff there, but we're just looking at notes and rhythms here. So, now, how do we count this? Well, we go to triplets. How do I know they're triplets? Because they're in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it's still 2 counts per measure. It's 1 and 2 and. Remember when you first started counting, you first started piano lessons, you would count 1 and 2 and 1, right? You'd have a quarter note be the, you know, and then the eighth note, the upbeat for each count, 1 and 2 and. Well, this is the 1, this is the and, this is the 2, this is the and. So if I'm playing here, 1 and 2 and this can be, again, it says ritenuto, so you're slowing down the tempo immediately anyway, so it's really by feel there as well, but that's how you would do the counts. Na, 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 na. And it'll help you if you'll accent the first of each group of 3. Don't accent that one because you're tied. 1 and so na, 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 na. Fermata on that A, so you hold it out a little bit. But the underlying basis for 1 and 2 and is there, even though you're not going to play it metronomic at all. Okay, let's do the whole 2 lines now. Counting and getting the correct notes. And then after we have that, we can begin to put in some expression and dynamics and those sorts of things, being musical. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Last measure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Slow down a little bit. 2, 1, and 2, and. Alright, so musically, there I just didn't play it well at all. Musically, if we want to really put expression and all that into it, well, we're going for notes and rhythms here. And you have to have that. To me, I like to have things under my fingers mechanically. I have to have that down first. For me, that's how I am. That's how I'm wired and built. You know, maybe keeping in mind the musical things, but I need to know where the counts are. I need to know which finger's going to play which note, and have that part of the performance, that part of my learning of the piece under my belt first, before I can really get into the musical aspect. So there's part 1 for ShawnCheek.com for this, and we'll do all the lessons. In fact, if you're seeing this on YouTube or Facebook or whatever on my blog, it's already on there. So, and this is what we'll do. We'll take the next 2 lines in part 2 and work on that. The next two, and it'll get pretty difficult, pretty hairy in some parts of it, but hopefully I can make it a lot less difficult as far as the reading and understanding goes of the music. So take the journey with me if you want to, ShawnCheek.com, and I'll talk to you guys later.